How's it going, everyone? It's Sam. Michael Saylor just changed the game. In my video last night, I explained this new proposal, a new meeting that they're going to have to try to issue up to 10 billion shares. Right now, for reference, they have about 330 million shares. And some people did not take that very well. Like the people in the comments, most people understood, right? The like ratio on the video is still quite high, so a lot of people liked that Michael Saylor was going out and buying more Bitcoin. Some people said, wow, it looks like they're going to dilute this to a penny stock because, he's going to issue 31x more shares. I want to go through that, explain where people might have this wrong, and take a look at the market today. We're at a pretty key level. Bitcoin's pumping as well. You can see Bitcoin moving up to almost 98. Well, it was just at 98,000, but pretty nice green candle here. Going from 93,400 at the bottom today to now 98,000. We have altcoins moving up. We're at a pretty key resistance level, like this 99,000 to 100,000. Obviously, 100,000 being a key psychological level. We got rejected at 99.6, but also this trend line. You can move it a little bit depending on where you want it, but we did get rejected by this trend line a couple different times. Broke below it, tried to fight above it, and got rejected. So yeah, it's right around 99,000 to 100,000 right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens next. Now, yesterday, I went long. I talked about that. I put together 4 new long positions: Solana, XRP, Bitcoin, and Sui. And they're all doing extremely well today. Bitcoin, obviously having a good day, but it's not just Bitcoin. Solana is looking really good. And you can see that here, that we got rejected by this trend line 3 different times. I actually, on this platform, I rolled the position, so I had a bigger position on Solana, and now we're sitting just short of 200. If you want to trade crypto, there's a link underneath the video to Blofin. I think now's a great time to be trading crypto, partly because of the volatility, partly because we just had a nice pullback on a lot of assets. But of course, there is risk when you trade, so make sure you understand what you're doing. On Blofin, when you sign up and you do certain activities, these different tasks, you can spin this wheel where you can get Bitcoin or XRP. You get bonus dollars as well. So definitely check this out underneath the video. Check out Blofin. I like trading there. And let's get over to the content. MicroStrategy announced a special meeting for shareholders to vote on key proposals designed to accelerate the 2021 plan. They want to streamline capital raising and align director compensation with the company's Bitcoin-focused strategy. They are trying to authorize Class A shares from 330 million up to 10.33 billion to support future capital raising. And one other thing that I wanted to show you. So far, on this 2021 plan, keep in mind that means 21 billion at the money and then 21 million in debt. So far, they're about 66% of the way through their at the money offerings and 14% of the way through their debt offerings. So they're about 40% through this $42 billion plan. Keep in mind, they just talked about this, 2 months ago? Less than 2 months ago, I believe. And they said this was going to be their plan for the next 3 years. They're 40% of the way through it in 2 months. So they're going out and they're saying, hey, we want a special meeting. We want to authorize basically unlimited purchases on Bitcoin. This 10.33 billion at today's price for MicroStrategy. MicroStrategy's up today about 6%. This would allow them to grow to be about a $3.6 trillion market cap. I might be saying that's crazy because Bitcoin's price is only about 2 trillion. That's true. Right now it is only about 2 trillion. But what they're doing is basically allowing themselves to buy Bitcoin for the foreseeable future, for years and years, be able to go out and buy Bitcoin as long as it's accretive. And I think people are missing that. I had all those comments saying, well, they're just going to dilute this thing tomorrow to nothing. Like people are going to lose so much money. If they go out and make 10 times more shares, the price is going to fall down to $35. That's not how it's going to work, to be clear, right? They don't want the price of their stock to go down significantly. Remember, there's a lot of psychology in this, right? So they want people to see the price going up. They want to be able to get cheap debt. And part of that, those convertible notes, is that people think that there's going to be price appreciation for the stock. If they dilute to hell, they're not going to have that same price appreciation. Keep in mind, too, they're going to go out and buy a hard asset with this. They're going to go out and buy Bitcoin. That's the whole point of the company, is to go out and buy more Bitcoin, because they have more Bitcoin. Well, Bitcoin's price goes up, and then they take advantage of that, and their share price goes up because the net asset value goes up. So what they're doing is not going out and diluting by 50% like a penny stock every month, right? When the share price goes up. What they want to do is take advantage of that premium, right? If they're selling right now, they're selling at about a 2x premium. So the cost of their Bitcoin, or the value of their Bitcoin, is about half of their market cap, right? When this is the case, they're going to go out and sell Bitcoin. They're going to go out and sell shares to buy more Bitcoin. And basically, they're collapsing that premium. But they don't want to collapse it to zero, because then they can't sell shares as easily. Well, they could sell shares, but they're not getting like a 2x return on selling those shares. So it's a calculated game. They're not going to just go out and dilute everyone, force the price lower. No, they're going to do this very methodically. They're also going to use debt, right? They're going to use these convertible notes. I think this is a good thing for them. I think it gives them a lot more flexibility. And I think they didn't realize how much demand there was going to be when they introduced this $42 billion plan. So I'm not worried about it. I think a lot of people are misunderstanding it. A lot of the people that don't like MicroStrategy are pointing and laughing at this, like, how stupid are you to invest in a company that's going to, increase their shares by 31x. And I see some smart investors saying that too, but that's not what they're going to do, right? I think that's missing what's happening here. They just want more flexibility. If you trust them with 42 billion, you should trust them with 3.5 trillion. And I'm not even sure they ever get to 3.5 trillion, but that would put them right around the size of some of the top companies today, right? And that's at today's share price of $350. Most likely their share price is going to go up. Bitcoin's going to go up. They're going to continue to buy Bitcoin forever. They're going to buy the tops forever, because that's what you have to do if you want to buy more Bitcoin. And keep in mind, let's say there is a constant bid for Bitcoin over the next year and a half. Let's say there are nations buying. Let's say it's not even as bullish as some people think. Let's say it's bullish, but it's not like a $500,000 Bitcoin scenario or $1 million Bitcoin. Let's say it's 250,000. Well, if they're able to continue to print more and more of these shares at, let's call it 100% premium, a 2x NAV, that means if they buy another $100 billion worth of Bitcoin, that they actually profit about $50 billion. This is going to go down in the history books as one of the best trades of all time. I mean, think about where this company was. They had a market cap of $1 billion last bear market. And now we're talking about them profiting $50 billion a couple years later. And this would cement them as one of the biggest holders, well, the biggest holder of Bitcoin. If I'm doing my math right, $100 billion of Bitcoin at $100,000 Bitcoin is 1 million Bitcoin. Now, I think if, as they go along in this $100 billion journey, which they've said they want to do $100 billion, as they go along, the price is going to get higher and higher. So maybe let's say it's 200,000. All right, $200,000 per Bitcoin is their average. That's another 500,000 Bitcoin that they can buy on top of their 450,000 Bitcoin that they have now. This would put them right up there with Satoshi. They're trying to flip Satoshi. Michael Saylor's trying to flip, right? He's trying to become the largest holder of Bitcoin of all time. And the fact is, if they get their hands on this much and Bitcoin's at $200,000, $300,000 per Bitcoin, they're probably going to be able to scale up real quickly. They'll be able to sell more shares, get more cheap debt, and like this thing just explodes. It's already exploding, but it's crazy to think where this could go if it plays out properly, if it plays out well. Now, Total 2 is at a pretty interesting point. We have this rejection around $1.27, $1.28 trillion. It is around the exact same level that we saw last cycle when Bitcoin went down and then pumped back up to 48,000. It was kind of just a fake out and then continued down. We got rejected at the same level. And now it looks like we're flipping that into support. We're seeing a lot of altcoins rally as well, not just Bitcoin, but a lot of altcoins. It's an exciting time. Like, this is not the time to fade crypto going into a Trump inauguration, going into a time where we are increasing, or we're going to increase liquidity. There's going to be quantitative easing. There's going to be lower rates. Some of that hasn't started yet. Quantitative easing really hasn't started yet, but that's coming. And the the Trump trade is still on with a lot of assets. The fact is we will probably move up significantly this bull run. And we haven't even hit the same levels on altcoins that we did last cycle, to be clear. Like in March of 2021, or actually November of 2021, we were higher on altcoins than where we were just a few weeks ago. Like alts still have not run compared to what they typically run during bull runs. Okay, they still, assuming they're going to have a run similar to last cycle, they still have a lot further to go. Bitcoin also has a lot further to go. Now, of course, if you want to trade crypto, there is a link to Blofin underneath the video, as I said at the beginning. I'm quite excited. I'm very heavily invested. Let me know your thoughts on all this underneath. Thank you so much. I'll see you all in the next one.